Hello everyone, and welcome to a short EP review where I'm going to review Cybercop Unauthorized MP3 by Horror. This is a new EP coming from experimental and industrial hip hop slash punk duo Horror, who have become easily one of the most notable and most interesting names in the current hip hop sphere of aggressive and experimental hip hop groups. And even though you can easily find comparisons with acts like Death Grips and Clipping, what made Horror interesting at first is how underground their sound was, especially with their first mixtape, Dead Bodies in the Lake. But then they released their debut album, United States of Horror, and then they immediately blew up. Like, blew up completely. And what I mean by that, touring with me, being featured in a song in the new Prodigy album, Fight Fire with Fire, which is a headbanging bop. So I like both projects, but not to an extent that, I really love them or I think they're something really significant in the rap game. Though I really see the appeal and I'm always looking forward to what they do. But when I first saw this new EP, is that they probably gonna go back to the direction that they actually did with the first mixtape, rather than following the defining first to the full-length album. And what made me think about it is like the album cover, like the weird obscure title, the fact that I didn't hear anything about the new project being released by Horror. This EP came completely out of nowhere. And I think in a certain extent this is the case with this EP. The approach and the sound they actually took with this one is more aggressive, it's more lo-fi. Most generally the album is filled with robotic vocals. The whole aesthetic it brings to the table reminds me of something of probably like a Matrix movie, or like a movie that really focuses on technology but it was made in the 90s or the 80s. Some of the sounds of this thing are like really alien, are like extremely post-apocalyptic, extremely spacey. The whole thing just screams technology, but the way that we will probably like see technology like back into the 90s or the 80s, where they will just overdo it on how the future is going to be represented, and that the entire technology has its benefits, but it also shows the dark side of it if we can't like treat it in the correct way, or if it's going to be used for wrong or bad purposes. And this EP kind of feels like the soundtrack of that, or maybe not the soundtrack, because its sound it's like way too direct for it to be like a soundtrack, but some of the sounds and some of the heavily affected vocals just give me this feel of like a retro movie. So going track to track, Is It Safe to Internet just gets too late to the point. It's like half a minute in and you pretty much hear nothing. Like it makes so much time to just get into the song actually, and I don't really see the point. But when it drops, it really kicks in with this pummeling nasty punk sound, and there is this synth that, like I said, gives me a really retro and a really alien feeling to it. It's like a sound from the 80s, like it's taken out of a futuristic movie, or like it was a sound of like a soundtrack to a old school retro game. And its sound kinda reminds me of early Machine Gun as well. Then, Internet Hacking has this siren sound, which is followed by this like really fast-paced drum beat. It's like a sort of a drum bass tempo and beat. It's extremely catchy, it's extremely nasty, and the whole thing gives me a vibe of a Prodigy song or a Death Grip song, like just being so much in your face, but with the only difference that it's into just way more lo-fi production. Like it's in your face, but it's not like crystal sound, it's like more abrasive in the sense that it sounds a little bit more muddy. Then Forest Fires is a banger, heavy as fuck track, great distorted kick and snare, just hits you. And in a strange way reminds me of some of the highlights from Show Me the Body, a band that when it comes to like some breakdown moments, they really just deliver some great sounds. And we have the singer screaming his lungs out to this song, like this is such a great performance. Too bad the track is too short, like I wanted a little bit more out of it. Then we have Mega City 9, which this song samples Tattered and Torn by Slipknot, and then it turns it into its head, combining it with a trap beat, which the ending result is kinda decent. It's okay, the hook is decent at best, it's not that impressive of a cut. Pink Police is really goofy and silly, with these really loud scenes and these drama scenes, which once again give me this extremely retro feel, and especially with the vocals once again, which feel like it's out of a computer or like a machine or a robot or something. The instrumental feels like it's taken out of a video game, and it's sad that it's just criminally short. It's really short, it's just 1 minute and a half. This song would just be structured for even way more than that. Then we have Delete My Browser History, which feels like a Marilyn Manson song. It has a little bit of a vibe of a Marilyn Manson song, which is something that you can hear from the previous songs as well, but especially this one with the beginning with his really silent vocals, which give such an edge to them. It's so edgy, it's so fucking edgy. And like the beat itself, the vocals scream edginess, and the bass line as well is really sick. But other than that, the song doesn't really manage to keep up as a highlight to the EP, for me at least. The punk part in the end of the song is kinda okay, but doesn't really save it from being like something even better or something really different. And then Leader of Pain is really heavy and a really head-crushing punk song. Vocals this time are filled with a lot of reverb and a little bit of a delay as well, just to give an extra feel to it. But even though it's an okay cut, I don't see the reason why they just cut it so abruptly, and even considering that this hit or like this part in the end with his like weird sounds doesn't really add anything to the song, so I don't get why they just cut it like that. But that's all. Other than that, in general thoughts, I think that this is a really solid EP. Once again, I like the direction they took with their sound this time. I like how they just keep their sound being refreshing, and it's nothing really crazy, but I think that this is still a pretty solid release for horror. And not only that, but this EP has some of the best tracks in their entire discography in my opinion, so I'm really looking forward to what's coming next. If you're into aggressive hip hop with a touch of punk on it as well, give this thing a shot. I'm gonna give this EP a 7+ out of 10. What's your opinion on this EP? Like it, dislike it, why, and what do you want me to review next time? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.